Okay, so we're going to go through the rest of the answers now. Sorry about that. So this first one. La ciudad ofrece muchas instalaciones. Por ejemplo, hay bares, restaurantes, grandes almacenes. La ciudad nunca es aburrida. Right, well, we've got to be careful with this one. So we'll just read it out to ourselves in English. The city offers lots of facilities. For example, there are bars, restaurants, big shopping centres. So all of that so far really is positive. Now, la ciudad nunca es aburrida. Be careful because we associate the word nunca with being negative. So it's never. But this word is also negative, so they cancel each other out. So the city is never boring. If it's never boring, that's actually a positive thing. So we've got to be really careful to read that word for word. Okay, number 4. Well, straight away, we would highlight this bit in green. Me chifla. I really like. So me chifla la cultura. I really like culture. Entonces no podría vivir en el campo. So I couldn't live in the countryside. Donde la falta de cines. So falta de, a lack of, that's a negative thing. The lack of cinemas and theatres sería fatal para mí, would be terrible for me. Now be careful, remember the question says what's the opinion on living in the city, not the countryside. So they're saying that there's no way they could live in the countryside. And then at the end there, la ciudad es lo mejor. The city is the best. Therefore, the opinion on the city is positive in this one. The only negative things refer to the countryside, not the city. Always refer to the question. Number 5. Aunque disfruto de las instalaciones para los jóvenes en mi ciudad, no me gustan los espacios muy concurridos. Okay, this is another one where the word aunque, although, implies there's going to be one opinion and then a contrasting opinion. But let's always double check. Although disfruto de is on your list of words you should have learnt, I enjoy, which is a positive thing. Although I enjoy the facilities for young people in the city, no me gustan, which is of course negative. Los espacios muy concurridos. Concurrido, busy, is usually a negative word. Here it definitely is. So I don't like very busy spaces. So in this one, you've got something positive, enjoying the facilities, and something negative, not liking it being crowded. So positive and negative. 6. Tengo miedo de los lugares peligrosos. Por eso suelo evitar las ciudades. Right, starting off with tengo miedo, which we will have learned before. I am scared. So I'm scared of lugares peligrosos, dangerous places. So all of this is negative. Por eso, that's why. Suelo evitar, I tend to avoid, that was in the list as well, cities. So they tend to avoid cities because they don't like dangerous places. Therefore, the opinion on cities is negative. Number 7. Fui a la ciudad ayer y vi basura por todas partes, graffiti en las paredes y la gente era muy estresada. ¿Vivir en la ciudad? ¿Qué va? This kind of question sometimes gets confusing towards the end when it's phrased like a question, so it's always worth it's not that long, translate word for word. So I went to the city yesterday, well there's no opinion there, and I saw rubbish everywhere. Okay, unless you're someone who loves seeing rubbish everywhere, that's obviously negative. Graffiti en las paredes. Again, you might like graffiti on walls. I think graffiti can look quite cool. Here we can tell it's used negatively. There's graffiti, there's rubbish. Y la gente era muy estresada. Okay, and people were very stressed. All of that's negative. Now we just need to check with this last bit with the question. Vivir en la ciudad. Living in the city, and then it ends with que va. No way, which is an expression hopefully if you learnt the Quizlet thoroughly you would have got. So living in the city, no way. So this person is saying they'd never live in the city. It's negative. Number 8. All right, we're starting again just like we did before with a pesar de. A pesar de, okay, despite, in spite of. Let's see what we got. La contaminación y los humos tóxicos. Okay, pollution and toxic fumes, definitely negative things here. So despite the pollution and toxic fumes, and now we said before, when we're using words like a pesar de, despite, or aunque, although, it usually implies a contrasting opinion. So we've got the negative. We would expect to see a positive, but always double check. Diría que vivir en la ciudad podría ser muy agradable. That's a positive word meaning pleasant. I would say living in the city could be very pleasant. Gracias a la cantidad de festivales y actividades que hay. Thanks to the quantity, the amount of festivals and activities that there are. So something positive and something negative. The positive being the pleasant life because of all the activities, and the negative being pollution and toxic fumes. Number 9. Con todas las luces bonitas y los edificios grandes es imposible odiar a la ciudad. Right. This is where reading every word is so important. Some people would read this and just see the word imposible and odiar, to hate, and immediately assume that this has to be something negative, something positive maybe and negative, because they can see bonito and grande. Don't be tricked. You must, as I said, read every word. So, with all the beautiful lights, luces, or the beautiful lights, positive, and the big buildings, it's impossible to hate the city. So even though you've got to hate and the word impossible, which you'd think would be negative, read it carefully. It's impossible to hate the city is actually a positive opinion. So there's nothing negative in there whatsoever. That one is positive. And finally, number 10. Starting off, already I can tell that is a positive opinion. Me chifla pasar tiempo en la ciudad, ya que es genial. 2 positives. I love spending time in the city because it's great. No obstante, now this is a connective, and remember it's a synonym for sin embargo, so it means nevertheless or however. However, es una vergüenza que, one of the phrases we should have learned from the Quizlet, so it is shameful that living in the city, so living there, costs so much money. It is shameful that living there costs so much money. Cueste tanto dinero. Okay, so you've got something positive and something negative.